Welcome back to Tenza Motorsports, and today we are going to be working on some Hot Wheels here. These two cars we're going to be modifying just a little bit, and I will get back to that. If you're on my channel for my E46 projects or my oil testing review videos, there's so much more of that to come. I'm going to be testing lots of oils. There's still plenty of work to do on that race car. It's interesting to see how true it actually is when people say your project car is never really done. I kept thinking, oh, just a couple more pieces here, just one more part there, and I'm done, and it just never really ends, and that's really just how it is with any project car. So again, if you're on my channel for my E46, my oil testing, or any other projects that I've done in the past, that will continue. Nothing is changing. But I am going to be doing today is introducing my new series I'm going to be doing with some Hot Wheels. Now, I know that there's some other YouTube channels out there that do a really good job modifying Hot Wheels, and I will probably never match that skill level because they're just so good at these little tiny cars, and sometimes I just don't have the patience for it. These two cars that we're going to be doing today are both little Mazda Miatas. We're gonna be taking some graphics off, which is a super simple process that I'll be showing everybody how to do. So we're gonna start with this car here and just get rid of the stripes. There's two stripes here on the hood, and then there are two stripes here on the trunk. Now the hard part about this one is it's getting really close to the headlight here, and the headlight is put on the same way as these stripes. So if you're rubbing the stripes and you hit the headlight, you could potentially start to pull the headlight off. Now I'm going to be using the safest way to do this, which is rubbing alcohol. Now I'm going to be using 70% rubbing alcohol. I think the higher you go, probably the better it is. So a 90% would probably work better than this. You can do nail polish remover, lacquer thinner, paint thinner, but you've got to be really careful because you can actually start to dig into the paint instead of just taking this top coat off. Now this does have a clear coat on it, so you do have a little bit of leeway, but I wouldn't push it any further than you have to. The other thing you want to make sure of is that the stripes are on top of the clear coat. So if you look here, you can see the stripes are more dull than the rest of the car. This means that the stripes were put on after the clear coat was applied. So we don't actually have to dig through the clear coat to get the stripes off. We should be able to get these off without bothering the rest of the paint. So I've got myself a cup here. We're gonna be pouring just a little bit of rubbing alcohol in there. Now if you are worried about getting close to the headlights, you can tape these off so that you don't actually run your Q-tip or whatever you decide to use down onto the headlights. And you can see after just a little bit of rubbing that the red is starting to come off. So this will take longer than some of the other solvents you use, but this is probably the safest way to do it. If you use lacquer thinner or paint thinner, you can dig into the paint pretty quickly. So we have the front driver's side stripe off. This took me about 3 minutes to do, which is probably a little bit longer than what you would expect if you were using some stronger solvents. But again, this is the safest way to do it. I didn't damage the clear coat at all. So now what we're gonna be doing is removing the rest of these stripes on here, and then we will have a nice clean silver Miata. So there we are, about 7-8 minutes later, and the car is a nice, clean, silver Mazda Miata. This is the most recent body style of this car. I don't mind the wheels on this car as much, but it looks like, as of right now, I'm just gonna leave this one alone, and we're gonna bring out the blue one and do some changing on this car. Now there are some things on this car that I actually don't mind. So it says Mazda Speed here on the front. I don't know if you guys can see that. Right above the mouth there, it says Mazda Speed. And then on the side here, it says Mazda over the wheel arch. I don't mind that. Actually, I think I might just take off this RYU, this circle, and the Hot Wheels logo. And then we will be changing the color of the wheels on this one black. So this car took me a little bit longer because there was so much on it. So we're about 10 minutes in, and I just want to stop real quick and show you. If you get stuff down in the line here like this, what I did was I cut my Q-tip in half, and then I'm able to put the edge of this down in that line and just kind of scrub it out. Now you don't want to push too hard because you could potentially ruin the paint. If you look, there's a little bit of blue on the end of this Q-tip here. So just be really careful when you're doing this. Just be patient with the rubbing alcohol. If you want to use something stronger, just be super careful. Now that we're all done cleaning this up, like I said, I left this Mazda there in the back. I think that looks kind of cool. and left the Mazda speed in the front. So now that we're all done with this, we can take all of our supplies here and move them out of the way, and I'm gonna show you how to change the wheels black without painting them. So we're gonna take some painter's tape and lay it over the side of the car. Just kind of wrap the car. And then I can use my fingernails here to kind of just trace the outline of that wheel. And then we'll trace the outline of the front wheels. And then you'll want to cut this out so that we have access to just the wheels, but you've got the body of the car covered up. And this is how you change your Mazda Miata into a Lamborghini Countach. So then what we're going to do is take a Scotch-Brite pad. I'm not sure what grit this is, but I use the green one here. And basically all you'll end up doing is just scratching the chrome off of there. The harder you press, obviously the more dull the black is going to be. So if you just kind of scrape it off very lightly, so you can see right there it's already starting to come off, and I just did it a couple times. So obviously the harder you press, the more dull these will be. If you do decide to paint these, I would start by doing this process anyways. Wrap your car up, take the Scotch-Brite pad, get this gloss chrome off here so your paint will stick, and then paint them anyways. So if you're going to paint them, you're already in the position to paint them. If not, you can just leave them a flat black. So this side is done, and you can see here that they are flat. They almost turn like almost like a gunmetal gray color, but I did get all the chrome out of them. It's pretty easy to do. Best way to do it is kind of go like this, and or take the Scotch-Brite pad and roll it up, and then put it on the wheel and kind of twist like this, and you can get all of that out of there. Then you'll want to clean them up so you can make sure you get all the chrome dust out, and then all of the dust that comes off of this out of your wheels. So let's uncover this and see what it looks like, and then we'll do the other side. This is the finished product from the side. I think it turns out pretty good if you just want to leave it flat black. If you don't want to do any painting, you want to change your wheel color, this is probably one of the better ways to do it. You don't want to go really hard and actually like take the pattern of the wheel off, but if you're careful and you just take a little bit of extra time, you can really make your car look cool. So I'm going to get the other side done up real fast, and then I'll be all done with this car. So thanks everybody for watching. Luckily enough for me, this was a success. I've ruined multiple Hot Wheels cars trying to modify them in whatever way, whether it was doing this and I used lacquer thinner and I took the paint off, or actually ended up hitting the windshield. Whatever the situation was that caused me to ruin a Hot Wheels car, you're only ever out a couple of dollars at the most. So this is a really fun little project. Kind of gives me the opportunity to step away from some of these other projects that are a little bit more expensive and high stress, and you get kind of worried about messing up on them. Something like this, like I said, the worst you could do is be out a couple dollars and a trip back to the store to buy another one. So one more thing before I let everybody go, I have about 16 Hot Wheels cars I'm gonna be modifying. My ultimate goal at the end of this is to get good enough where I can build a 1/64th version of my race car. I think that'd be really cool. So I appreciate everybody for watching. Stick around for more content like this. And if you're here for my E46 and my oil review videos, those will be coming as well. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.